Well, hello, CNC. Hope you are well. I am zooming in from my holiday actually at the moment to give you a little preview of our Sunday service. Really pleased to be here with Reverend Rob Merchant, who's going to be speaking to us on Sunday. Rob is the director of St Mellitus Chelmsford. He was actually one of my lecturers when I was at St Mellitus training to be a vicar. So if you have any complaints, it is all Rob's fault, whatever you might think of my ministry so far. And he's also the associate vicar at St Mary's, Hornsey Rise, where his wife Tamsin is the vicar. Rob and Tamsin actually formerly of Gloucester Diocese, and we're realising Rob's lived in the Park in Cheltenham, and where was the place you were saying a minute ago?
We were just opposite Pittville Gates, down towards the centre of town.
Fab, and Rob was part of West Cheltenham team, and Tamsin was the chaplain in Gloucester, so they know Cheltenham very well. So it's lovely to have you back with us virtually, Rob, this Sunday.
Thank you, Sarah.
So what has your Monday to Friday life looked like in the last few months?
Oh, well, I guess like everyone else is weird, really, is that it was that shift from, I have known this way of life for so long, and then suddenly, my Monday to Friday looks more like, actually, if I'm honest, I lose track of which day is which at points. And I guess the hard bit about Monday to Friday is quite knowing both which day is which and then what time of day it is, what I'm meant to be doing on whichever day. But my role in life is really split between my role as director of St Mellitus Chelmsford, and I serve on the leadership team of the college. I've been part of the college for nearly 8 years. Which has been huge fun. And my week is on a Monday, I'm a formation tutor. So with Monday Ordinand, so people like yourself, Sarah, who sort of trained contextually, supporting them through. I just said goodbye to one lovely group of Monday Ordinand. So it's like, always the hard bit of saying farewell to you all. But also the great joy of just amazing women and men going off to serve the church. And then really the rest of my week is focused around leadership team work. There's all kinds of things happening to be able to pivot a large theological college from physical gathering into an online setting, and we did that in a matter of weeks. So I'm part of an amazing team, and then my Thursdays are focused around the delivery of St Mellitus Chelmsford, which is currently all online. Which is how we do that, and whatever else I need to pick up during the week. And then alongside that, I am supporting my amazing vicar at St Mary's Hornsey Rise, and I preach regularly, lead services, running a weekly discipleship course on Zoom at the moment. So basically, I'm worked.
Yeah. And how is St Mary's? What have you been doing with online church in this time?
It's been amazing. It was really hard at first. It was really the sense of loss, the sense of loss of relationship, the loss of the immediacy. They're trying to figure out how on earth to do online church. So we spent the first few weeks using an iPhone, and Tamsin was mirror printing the words, and I was holding them up to the phone camera, and we were going through services that way. And Tamsin was playing guitar off to one side, and I was leading. But my wife is amazing, and she has mastered the art of OBS software, and she now live streams us through YouTube and Facebook. And I think the really interesting thing has been realizing as a church leader that I've been standing in the wrong place for a long time, that I've spent too many years expecting people to come to us. And it wasn't that people didn't want to come to us, it's that they didn't know how to. And in fact, they were standing in a different place. And it really struck me one evening when we've been doing church online, discipleship courses online, everything's online. But St Mary's is open because it's a food bank. We're in a complex community. There's 42% child poverty within the parish. And our food bank went from 15 to 20 households a week to over 70 within 10 days of the lockdown. So huge need. But it was walking into the kitchen and seeing Tams, she was washing up or doing something, and we'd had our evening meal, and I was going back in to help, and she had her iPhone up in front where she was, and she was chatting to one of our single mums, one of our single parents, and who hadn't been in church for a few years because she's just struggled and it's been really hard, but she's loved engaging on Facebook with Church Live. And she was on WhatsApp chatting to Tams about what the sermon had been and what she was thinking about that week and what she'd been praying about. And I was just kind of going, oh my life, this is discipleship in real time, where people are, you know, and I really need to notice and learn from this. So yeah, no, so it's been a really steep learning curve. It's been important to lament the loss, but it's also been really important to notice the possibilities that are emerging as well.
Yeah, thanks so much. So good. And who, you've mentioned Tamsin, who have you been spending your lockdown with?
Well, with the vicar. So I am in my wife's vicarage. I love her. She's a star. We met at theological college and she agreed to marry me after 8 weeks of going out. And so we were married within 10 months of knowing each other, meeting each other for the first time. And that was 20 odd years ago. So, I mean, she's a remarkable woman. And so, so with Tams, we have 2 boys, Joe and Sam. We are an adoptive family. So the boys are amazing. We've been a family for nearly 6 years now. And then we also have 2 miniature dachshunds, Monty and Mabel, who are an important part of our family life.
Yeah, animals are very important at CNC.
Oh yeah,
it's good to know. It's good to know. I think dogs are the real winners of the lockdown. They just think that it's great and that we're at home all the time. And so, very excitingly, we're sending this out on Tuesday. Tomorrow, you have a book being released. And I'd love to hear a bit. What prompted you to write the book? Tell us a little bit about the title and a little bit about the kind of theme and the thoughts behind it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so the title of the book is Broken by Fear, Anchored in Hope, Faithfulness in an Age of Anxiety. And I wrote it in the summer of 2018. The book is a story. It has 2 footnotes. I'm told it's an easy read. It's something that people sit down and read either in one go or in a couple of goes. And what it is, it's my story. It wasn't something that I expected to write or wanted to write, but it's something that I felt compelled to write. In the summer of 2018, I was on a sabbatical, and I was really I'd had writer's block. I wrote a book. It was published in 2003 on aging. So that's one of my passions and interests around aging and mission and theology. And I really sat down to write the follow-up to that. But I had writer's block in the intervening years, and every time I've tried to start a text, I just haven't been able to finish it. And I was sat there and I was trying to write, and the story, the book I had in my head wasn't the one I was trying to write. It was Broken by Fear, Anchored in Hope. And I didn't intend to write it. I didn't want to write it because it's a deeply personal story, and it's a deeply honest story. I'm an abuse survivor. I've experienced trauma. That means that experience of early life trauma means that I have long-term mental health condition. As a result of that, it's affected who I am and how I am. But it's also a story about how I've discovered who I am in Jesus and the work of the Spirit. And it isn't a book about how to fix yourself. It's a book that is about how we are loved by, in, and through Jesus Christ, and how the Spirit enables us to walk each day, and how, as we walk and love and trust, we walk home to the Father. And that's our call, that our pilgrimage of life is to make this journey home with all the scars and all the sorrows and all the joys and all the hopes that we carry with us as we make the journey. So, people have been really kind. Various people have sort of read it and are beginning to review it. Apparently, it covers difficult topics in a way that is both accessible and it isn't saccharine. So there's an honesty to it. So it's been really lovely about how people have begun to receive it. I mean, my hope is that the book is something that would be a gift for people, that it would be something that the Spirit would speak hope into their lives and the possibilities of love and hope in Jesus Christ.
Amazing. And what an interesting thing that you were writing it, almost 2 years before the situation we're in today. thinking about anxiety and fear and hope and trauma, you know,
Yeah.
and probably lots of people are experiencing or have experienced trauma in the last 6 months, and God's strange ways sometimes being that now is the time that this book is coming out.
I know, and it's been such a time of profound trauma for all of us, as a society, as a country, as a world, and trauma upon trauma, really. Not only have we all been through lockdown, not only have we been through separation of relationships and those we love, and people who are grieving loss, for people who've been affected by COVID-19 as well, and the uncertainty in that. We've also, as a society, been faced with the reality of racial discrimination, of a man who used a fake $20 note without knowing, as many people have used fake notes, and yet found himself arrested and in a chokehold killed. And that it's, the trauma of waking up to the violence and discrimination that exists in our world and in our society. And it is, I guess, really within the book, what I want to do is acknowledge that trauma and loss shouldn't come as a surprise to the Christian, because our story begins in a garden in which a story of trauma erupted through the disruption of sin, through choice that was made in man and woman being driven into shadow and into hiddenness. And that our story in Jesus is a story of emergence, a story of coming out of shame, coming out of the shadow, and knowing the hope of Christ in our lives. And so, I was really initially I was really frustrated when SPCK said, "Oh, we'll publish it in 2019, 2020," and I was thinking, that's awful. How come I got to wait that long? But it turns out the Lord knows what He's doing.
Yeah, amazing.
Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? God is sovereign and in control.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so Thank you so much for sharing that, and we're really looking forward to having you with us on Sunday. Really looking forward to hearing what you have to say to us in this time, and really looking forward to that. And looking forward to, I've pre-ordered the book, so I'm looking forward to reading that as well. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for joining us.
And Sarah, thank you for the invitation. It's really great to be gathering with everyone on Sunday. It's a precious time, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
Thanks so much.